good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are at or whenever you are watching. Thank you for being here and joining us on the Sunday Culture Review. We have a growing panel. We've got one more that'll be on the way shortly, and maybe a surprise or two. So I first would like to start with the amazing woman who's next to me, AFK Bard. AFK Bard, how are things going?
Hey, howdy. They're going good. It is another Sunday. So
it is
that.
Absolutely. Well, we have lots of things to talk about, and like I said, I mean, we go out of our way to not have a political discussion when we're talking about these things. So hopefully, we'll be able to maintain that distance today. Although everything seems to have politics involved in it, but we'll charge ever forward. Wes, go ahead, buddy. How are things going over there?
Things are going great. I saved money on my car insurance.
Did you switch to Geico?
I didn't. Apparently, I'm just getting old, and they're deciding to drop my rates because I'm getting old.
Oh, old person rates. That's fantastic. So very good. Very good. Yeah. All right. And we have
middle age.
Yeah, dude, believe me. Right below Wes is a wonderful guest panelist. I'm so glad he could join us today. We have Ian, otherwise known as the Mega Geek, or on YouTube as Rebecca Gold, amongst other amazing web series. He's an incredible creator, director, and writer. Somebody that you should listen to when it comes to how to maintain good things or create good things. Ian, how's it going, buddy?
All right. Snowing over here, would you believe?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very rare it snows in London, but it's snowing. Unbelievable.
Oh, that's fantastic. You gotta love that.
That's the sign of the apocalypse, right there.
Oh,
Yes.
I don't quite think that's true. I don't think that's quite true, but I do know that I love to see snow in London. It's not often. So, and of course, right now up north for me at my cabin, we've got quite a bit of snow. So I'm pretty excited. Maybe I'll get to snowboard a little bit. I mean, you can easily cover your face when you're skiing or snowboarding, right? I mean, most of the time you have to. So, but anyway, thanks, Ian. I appreciate you joining us today. I love it. It's
no problem.
Awesome. Actually, there's a couple things I know you're going to want to weigh in on, especially right at the beginning. So I'm pretty pumped. And then, of course, immediately next to him is our very own Joker, our very own Vigilante Williamson, a creator and apparently a hip hop artist, as many of you may or may not know. Hey, Vigilante, how's it going today, my friend?
Vigilante Wednesday here with another episode of the Sunday Culture Review. And yeah, I do music. But I don't know if I'm just a hip hop artist, even though it's the first song I released. So if you're on Minds, I released a song. Please listen to it if you like hip hop. But like the motto I want to do for my music is anything that can happen with a Vigilante Williamson album, which is kind of a reference to WWF, if you remember it. But seriously, I want to do like synthwave and stuff. I just haven't released it. But yeah, I also do YouTube, and I'm honored to still be. I haven't been kicked off of this show yet. I don't know how. Despite my best effort, I'm still here, and I appreciate it.
Well, you have a welcome spot every single week. I'm glad that you're here, my friend, and you bring a ray of sunshine to each and every one of us in your own special way. And you know what? That's what we need right now. We absolutely need that. So, and then last but not least, and the man that I always seem to forget is no longer on Twitter. And has not, I don't think, joined me on Minds, or if he has, I can't find him for whatever reason. Yeah, it's the Mirosphere's origin. What's up, Mirosphere?
Hail, everyone.
Hail.
Hey, are you on Minds?
I am.
He's the underscore Mirosphere underscore.
Yeah, I had to underscore it because it wouldn't let me space.
I'm going to drop a link right now.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that to all the mods working here in addition to Wes. Our very own and wonderfully talented mod is in the chat, Machiny90, my buddy. He's got a special stream. Special stream today over there. So check that out immediately following this one. He's going to treat you to some goodness. So, and he deserves it. The man deserves some celebration. He's grown his channel and his art by leaps and bounds since joining us here. So I'm very, very thankful and very appreciative. To say the least. And we have our latest arrival and probably the last one joining us today, content creator in many stripes, in many ways, including merchandise. He also does logos and art for others. It's the Mando Merc. Hey, good morning, Mando. What's up, my friend?
Hey, guys. Sorry I'm late.
Mando Merc. Speaking of logos, I'm currently bugging, and we're going back and forth with logo. He's great stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's say hello to the chat, guys, before we get started. We got quite a few people that have popped in to say hi and to join us today for some conversation. We have Robert. Robert's here. What's up, Robert? Good to see you, my friend. Somebody who followed me over from Comics Division, one of my favorite YouTubers I get to hang out with once or twice a week. Hopefully we can drag Wes back over to that conversation because it's always fun and fiery. Keith Howard is here. What's up, Keith? Good to see you. I made a video especially for you, buddy. It's on Wednesday. I even put your name in it, so be excited. Like I said, Machiny 90 is here. I'm so glad that my buddy's here. He is a very talented and wonderful human being that I greatly respect. So I'm so glad that he's here. And of course, he's one of my mods. So yeah, I have to say nice things. Well, not really, but anyway. Criticism the Craze says, hail, Culture Casino, and hail to the chat. Absolutely welcome to you, my friend. Terry Rose says, hail to everybody. Hail to you, Terry Rose. Thanks for being here. Diablo Dame, happy Sunday. All happy Sunday to you. Krista Joe says, hey, everyone. Hey, Krista Joe. Good to see you. Krista Joe is one of the people that join us playing Mario Kart on the Friday after party. It's always 8.5. She's really good. She beats me all the time. Lord Thoth is here. Says, great to see everyone on this great Sunday. Great to see you, my friend. Mispronounces, hi all. Hi, Miss. Good to see you. Eric Sullivan is here. Hey, what's up? How's Tallahassee today? Well, I know everybody thinks that because of Jeremy from Geeks and Gangers. I don't actually live in Tallahassee, but it's all right. It's all right. And Tallahassee weather is probably better than where I am right now. So I would gladly move if I could. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Kip Ellis is here. Hey, Kip. Good to see you, my friend, all the way from across the pond with his membership logo right there, guys. I'm very happy to have all of you guys as members. You have no idea. Thank you so very much.
Members, woohoo!
Member.
Need the Culture Casino members only jacket. Where do I find it?
I'm working on it. Anyway.
Yeah, well, members only jacket right now. Those are cool.
Is there a name for all your fangirls now, Culture? Like casinos or something like that?
Oh my goodness, no! Oh, that would be terrible.
The casinos.
That's great.
No,
That's
I'm
great.
not.
That's
I will
what they're
have
called
to get,
now. It's too late.
I have to get boss approval on that, guys. Come on. The boss has to weigh in on stuff like
They come
that.
out like a motorcycle game.
If you want to be a casino, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
Give me strength. Okay, Roger Haynes sends us a $2 Canadian super sticker with his traditional thumbs up. Thank you, Roger Haynes. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Let's see. We've got Diablo Dame. Now I'm getting AARP invites in the mail. Yeah. When you get to a certain age, stuff starts to show up from AARP, and you're like, I'm not this old. Why are you sending me this stuff? AARP.
They want to get you while you can still remember before you get to be a certain politician whose name shall not be mentioned.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for dancing around that, Wes. Anyway, yeah, Diablo Dame. I understand. I understand where this comes from, but our friends across the pond may not understand. AARP is the Association of Retired Persons here, the American Association of Retired Persons in the United States, and it's essentially for on behalf of the elderly. Well, at least they used to. Not so much now. We won't talk politics. So anyway, that's who those people are. We have another super sticker from our great friend Wes Moody. Wes, you don't have to do that. I appreciate the $1.50 super sticker with the popcorn. I'm glad you have your popcorn ready, my friend. We have some stuff to talk about.
When an emergency, have popcorn.
That's right. Well, absolutely. Yeah, popcorn's is a lovely treat almost any time. In fact, it makes an appearance in my video that's airing tomorrow. I have a pretty long form video tomorrow. I think everybody will enjoy. It's back to business. It's back to business with tomorrow's video, with actually covering the entertainment business side of things. So you guys will enjoy that. And yes, it is a cabin in the woods. Absolutely. Hey, Curtis, what's up, my friend? And the amazing and talented Steve Kenobi is here. Hey there, buddy. It's good to see you, my friend. Can't wait to hang out with you again this week. And hopefully we get a chance to record that segment this week like I plan to. So I will reach out to you tomorrow and we will set all of that up. Roof Korean is bound for the gulag. I really hope not, my friend. For $5 super chat says, tendency for interpersonal victimhood seems to be the business model and personality disorder that Lucasfilm employees seems to have an abundance of. I don't think there's any argument for that, guys. What do you think?
They're crazy.
They're crazy, and they have to me all the goodwill with Luke is down the drain. It's exactly what I feared, and I don't want to do it. I don't really want to watch anything from them. I don't want to support them at all.
Hold on, what's happened?
Yeah, no.
Sorry,
Oh.
I've been out of the loop because I've been working. But what's happened with Luke?
Oh no, it's
Nothing with Luke, just Lucasfilm.
Yeah,
Lucasfilm.
Yeah, Lucasfilm is they've had some people come out and again call 66% of their audience racist.
Oh, that's
Fucking
normal
racist.
though for them, isn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah.
Well, it's regular, but as Vigilante Williamson said, I mean, they destroyed a bunch of goodwill that they built just off of the 7 minutes of Luke Skywalker in the last.
Every
episode.
week it's a new person. This is the
Yeah.
second person.
But the real fans of Star Wars, they can ignore all that stuff because everybody knows Star Wars belongs to Jon Favreau now. So we're just going to follow Jon Favreau and just see what Jon Favreau does. Everything else is just rubbish. Everything that's connected to Star Wars now is all lies.
Not going to go into a 6-hour rant.
Sorry.
Well, I know you're fully capable of it, but could you summarize into 30 or 45?
So I have gone in 10-hour rants about Star Wars. This was just 2 years ago, so 2019. But yeah, it's pretty much about closing in on 5 years ago now. Plus, about 5 years ago, maybe more. I've lost all interest in Star Wars. Disney, EA, DICE, and some fans, and then some, have all killed my enthusiasm. I've lost my love for it. I just don't care anymore.
He doesn't
they
have
can
to
do whatever they
focus
want.
on
They want me as a
anything.
fan. Maybe they'll get me back in a decade or so. I don't know. But at the moment, I really don't give a shit.
I've
good
managed.
news
I think I see it like I've managed to divorce myself and away from this. There's this kind of big, magical-eyed look that I think we give to a lot of our franchises, or the idea of a franchise, right? Of like, there's a spirit that it's supposed to be embodied and everything. And nowadays, I feel like everybody's buying these big names and creating whatever else is underneath it. And honestly, the definition of what a franchise is, or like a thing is changing because of the way that they're being created. And so like when I go when I'm watching The Mandalorian, I can see it and be like, wow, Mandalorian, the show, is a really good show. I'm enjoying the show. And I don't look at it as a representation of Star Wars as a whole, and I think that that's a big thing that is a deterrent for some people, is that some people will look at it and be like, sorry, this is only a part of this big thing. It's not good enough. And other people can look at it and be like, it's its own thing. It's a really good thing.
I agree.
It's
So
funny.
that's kind of where I'm at.
I felt that way until Luke came back, and then they got my emotions back. Like I was comfortable, like, oh, this is just a show. Yeah, it has a Star Wars lore. It feels like Star Wars, but it's just a show, and I'm watching it for a show. And then it's like Luke came back, and now it's real, and now they're playing with my emotions. So that's where it's almost like
To me,
Luke came back, this stuff wouldn't be as impactful to me, honestly.
To me, I'm not even watching. I've been avoided. I haven't seen anything Star Wars since The Force Awakens came out.
Oh my God, you've been hurt.
Your life is better for it.
Yeah.
I've been avoiding all this stuff like the plague. I'm not kidding. Even conversations of it.
So
Just because it's a raw subject for me.
Yeah, and of course,
so Culture, what's the status of Kathleen Kennedy's contract? Do we know?
Guess what? That was supposed to have ended 2 days ago.
That's what I thought.
And it didn't mean anything. And I told everybody it would largely wouldn't mean anything going back almost 4 months now, in that she's going to get soft extensions until the end of Indiana Jones 5. And once we get the last Indiana Jones film, then they will probably bring in someone or two someones to operate Lucasfilm. But here's the thing, guys, and I'm going to say this for the 500th time, because Tom and I have talked about it multiple times on the Tuesday tirade, but I don't think we've talked about it here. Her name's going to be on stuff forever. I mean, you can't take her name off of the credits for things she was involved in, as much as you'd like to take the name, certain names off of certain films.
I'm not into that sort of thing. I could care less about her name.
Yeah, but why should
want
that
her
matter,
material.
though? Why should it matter? Why should it matter if her name's on there? Listen, if you enjoy the first 3 Star Wars films and maybe the prequels, which I want to be able to understand, and you enjoy The Mandalorian, that's great. I mean, look, we all know she was poison to Star Wars. As long as she stays away from Mandalorian, and as long as they let Favreau do his thing, which is what I've heard that they let him do his thing, then we could enjoy that stuff. You know what I mean? And also, right, whatever they've done to Star Wars is not gonna take away the first 3 Star Wars films from my heart.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't bother me.
No,
well,
and
I can't be just friends. I'm leaving the relationship altogether. That's what it is. We can't just be just friends. Where I'll just watch the man because I understand what you're saying.
I understand what you're saying.
I just don't have the emotional ability to do that.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people that think your way, and I understand that totally. But for me, you know, Mandalorian for me is the only Star Wars I'd watch now. Definitely.
Mirror, what were you gonna say, bud?
I was gonna say the only good thing we have right now on the game side of Star Wars is EA no longer has a monopoly on Star Wars.
That's true.
That is
anybody to get into the IP, so we may see a lot more good Star Wars games going up.
Well, they brought
Sucker
in
Punch. Please buy into this IP. I would love to see a Ghost of Tsushima type.
Ghost of Tsushima
mechanics
Star
and
Wars?
lightsabers.
But there are two. Yeah, but there are two. I mean, think about it this way: they have 2 outside developers they've never worked with before that are in the process of building. One's building an open world Star Wars game, which is going to make Apollo Patriot super happy.
Sign me up.
Do it.
Yeah,
Remember they almost had one. Remember they were.
It was close.
Yeah,
it was close. It was 2/3 of the way through. Yeah, I don't even get me started on that. But anyway, so
Robert in the chat there has a great comment that you should highlight. He says Grogu is safe until Jake Skywalker has a bad dream.
Oh God.
Yeah, no. Look, I'm sorry to say this, but they really are going to try to not navigate into the sequel movies. I need a drink. Hang on a second.
Ooh.
I've had more than enough drinks over the last week.
Drinking invisible fluid. That invisible
I
fluid.
drank so much today I had to watch Batwoman out.
Can I just address something that's going on in the chat here with
Absolutely.
Robert talking about the Star Wars games and Robert saying I don't trust Ubisoft and Runner saying Robert is saying I don't trust Ubisoft and Runner saying a Sucker Punch Star Wars game would be dope as fuck. They're not. You guys know they're not actually going to be making like good Star Wars games, right? The era of good Star Wars games honestly died with LucasArts.
Maybe so, but
Rip LucasArts, I love that.
Maybe so. I can't argue too much with that, but I'm at least going to give them a try. I mean, you know, Ubisoft, you know, Bethesda, some other companies maybe getting involved in this. Look, we can always hope for the best. We hoped for the absolute optimum game when Cyberpunk 2077 came out. We didn't get it, but as they continue to upgrade and patch, we're starting to get there. And, you know, by the time, you know, March rolls around, April, maybe we'll be sitting on a game that we thought we were promised that was going to be lovely. We don't know. I mean, and I don't want to.
That's when it should have released is March. But
yeah, I agree with you. I look, if you were in that big of a hole, all you had to say was, "Look, guys, one more time, we absolutely have to delay this. If we show you the state of the game right now, you'll be disappointed." And we are right now. But the worst thing they did was come out and say that it had gone gold. That was the worst decision they made. So,
well, I mean, I think their biggest problem is like they were afraid of. I feel like it's just like they were afraid of people being angry at them for making them wait any longer. But the option, I mean, what they got in the results would be like, okay, so we release it now as a steaming pile of crap, and then we shine it for the next like 3 or 4 months, and then it looks great, and then people hate us, but then the people who come and play it afterwards will enjoy it. But there's this huge stink pile. I wonder why they went with that one. Yeah. Or we wait another 3 or 4 months to turn it into something nice without releasing that steaming pile of crap. And then the worst we have is angry people who are just angry they had to wait that long, but have a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, like, who was looking at that and making that decision?
I don't know, but again, I mean, if they were trying to release it by end of quarter, so that they could realize the yield of the profit windfall that they were going to, you know, the avalanche of support for their stockholders, you know, I think that factored in, and you can call that greedy or whatever, but you know, that's I think where that came from. To be honest with you, I think that's why we got the game when we got it, despite the fact that it should have been pushed. And I want to acknowledge this. Yeah. I want to acknowledge the Atlantean's $5 super chat. He just says, "Hail Culture." Well, hail to you, Mr. the Atlantean. If you are available today, you're welcome on here. Message somebody so they can send you a link. but you are welcome, my friend.
Rick Rand just said something about think of it Division 2 with Ubisoft, because that's what their engine they're going to use. If you guys haven't played Division 2, that's what their Star Wars game's going to probably feel like and look like. I like Division 2. I also love Valhalla. So
yeah, if you can add elements to it, and you can add the scale of Valhalla, sure. But unlike Valhalla, it can't be empty. You need to essentially create maps like Valhalla on multiple planets. So you need to have planetary travel that feels that open world. I mean, if you're going to do it right. And even if it has to be a server attached event, I mean, that's something we definitely need. So,
right.
At Robert, Gina has Italian ancestry along with traces of English, Scottish, and German heritage. Yeah, but see, they're still going to call her white. I mean, I don't want to get into the racism discussion here, guys, because, but that's, ultimately where the Star Wars thing led everybody, and especially with the follow-up where, the person says, well, I was attacked by these 6 people. Okay, 6 people out of millions attacked you because you came out racist, so they hit you back with racist stuff. I can believe there's 6 racists. I don't think there's,
6,000.
No, I try again. 600 million people that are racist.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a take on that. I think a lot of that is like this whole High Republic. Everything about this is divisive wokeness. Like everything from the characters. I'm not saying that I've heard there's actually some good books amongst the mess, but like from the character designs, from this is not the only person with this viewpoint. I think she was hired because of her tweets. She only just got hired. Those tweets are from last year. I think this is the stuff that they want, and it's like, okay, cool. I'm just done with the franchise. This woke. There's this thing that they do where they're doing it with Batwoman too. Where they're using the victimhood as a way of keeping whatever piece of media that they're working on alive. Well, you can't cancel Batwoman because of this. You can't cancel this because of that. It's like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm done.
It pulled in 659,000 views after it's all said and done. In fact, tomorrow's video specifically is talking about ratings, and Batwoman is referenced in it. So tomorrow, guys, if you want to understand the way ratings are done, check out the video that goes live tomorrow. Okay, but look, I agree with Stieg, right? It's not Luke. It's still not Luke. I don't know that they can reform Luke to make us believe it's Luke. Even I don't even care if it's like the digital face mask version of Luke. I don't care. It is going forward. It's still Jake until they make a significant divergence. You know
what though? I don't think it's about that. I think you're looking at it the wrong way. What you should look at it as is that it was a clear statement from Filoni and from Favreau saying that, look, we are not taking the course of Kathleen Kennedy. We are taking this course, and that should be celebrated. I mean, whether Luke appears again is neither here or there. What you should take away from this is that the Mandalorian is following the path of true Star Wars. It's not doing a Kathleen Kennedy, and that should be celebrated. And I think that was the whole point of making Luke appear at the end. It wasn't that they were going to make a whole series with Luke in it, even though a lot of people are saying it, which would be a stupid idea. But it's just to say, look, Star Wars is going to be Star Wars when we are doing it. I think that was the message. But anyway, that's just my opinion, right?
No, I think you're right. I think you're on the right track, but there's still arguments to be made. And in fact, Stieg would probably argue with you of whether or not John and Filoni, John and Dave are actually, not they might still be destroying canon items.
They might be, but let's hope for the best, eh?
No, I agree with you. I want nothing but to fall back in love with Star Wars. But where Vigilante Williamson is concerned, I can remain friends, but I can understand why he's breaking up with Star Wars. So.
I totally understand. It's like Doctor Who. That's why I'll never watch a Doctor Who episode ever again with Jodie in it. But I mean, that's a different subject. But what I'm saying is that with Star Wars, it's kind of different. And the thing is, as I said, all the rumors I've heard is that Filoni and Favreau are going to ignore the Kathleen Kennedy thing.
They are,
and that can only be a good thing.
Yeah, no, those aren't rumors. I mean, technically, I guess they still are, but you know, you have it from multiple locations, including me, telling you that that's not actually happening. yeah, but there are many. I mean, you have Tom, you have lots and lots of people. You still have people on the fence. You still have people saying, "Well, this is not true." Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's fine. But you know, from the inside, you know, looking out, there are 3 elements in Lucasfilm, and unfortunately, there's a huge bunch of people in the middle that don't want any part of the division that's happening in that entity. So I feel bad for everybody that's just keeping their head down, that's been there for 30 some years and are like, can I get my retirement check in 2 years, please? That's that's kind of what they're looking at. But I do want to say thank you, El Punk Trace. He changed his name. For the 99-cent super sticker. I do appreciate that very much. You guys, your support is overwhelming. I really do appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. You guys touch me. You really do.
Hope not in the wrong place.
No, not like that. It's not a no place thing. Gosh, you guys.
This is a family show, Culture. Shame.
It wasn't me. Hey, Thomas Cookie.
I've already swore twice on the show.
Hey, Thomas.
Guys here. Look at all the people rolling in, guys. I appreciate you all stopping by. We said hi to Curtis. Kate's here. Rowan Ginger Raven's here. I think even Mr. Tickle Trunk popped in. He's lurking. Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Yeah, we got people lurking. Now I missed this hologram nunchuck. Yep, don't make a series with Luke.
Agreed.
I agree with you, but I
already told them in the chat. Yeah, no, if they were doing this in the 80s or 90s, yeah, sure, make a whole Star Wars series, But
exactly.
If this now, no. Don't.
Well, they're not going to.
Bad enough that we have to get new movies and TV shows already. Well, I don't want to see anymore.
I don't think they're going to.
I would hate to tell you that there's not treatments out there. So I'm not going to tell you that there's treatments out there.
But you know what? If they're clever enough, they will not. I mean, as I said, I have my trust in Favreau. Favreau's not a stupid man.
Here's the thing: if you have him make another appearance or two over the course of the next 4 or 5 years, that's the kind of thing we can live with.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
The only thing I can see is because of Grogu or Baby Yoda.
I don't. Okay. So understand this. There's 2 things that are going to happen. You're going to get a crossing of all these shows. So every backdoor pilot that they introduced this year to with these characters and furthering their development. Yeah, well, there's several. There's at least 2 coming out of Mandalorian directly, if not 3, because I still think you're going to get to see the Bo-Katan series in the future. But you're going to start to see those shows intermingle, just like the CG universe, only in a qual way, kind of like the way the MCU operates, and is going to be operating on Marvel, the Marvel segment of Disney Plus for a while. But I do, like I said, I do want to acknowledge the Atlantean, because we were talking about the open world Star Wars game. He says Ubisoft presents Assassin's Far Cry Dogs Legion Tatooine.
Because Atlantean isn't here, he and I have very strong similar opinions on open world games, especially Ubisoft open world games, where they're all just the same formulaic garbage. And what he's, I think, at least Atlantean, please correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I think he's trying to say there is that it's just the Star Wars open world game. It's just going to be another, Watch Dogs Legion, another Assassin's Creed Valhalla, another, insert whatever Ubisoft open world title came out in the last 5 years here. Yeah, but it's Star Wars skins instead of Assassin's Creed or.
See, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that that's going to be the case, because they're going to have to stick within the lore. And there's a lot of reestablished Star Wars lore that exists, and there's a lot of lore that existed in what I guess is now Legends that they could really go to town on. You know what I'm saying? So, and as long as they stay away from the Disney trilogy crap, I think they'd be in really good shape. Although there are people that like the Disney trilogy stuff, there's just not a lot of them. So, and Thomas, I can understand still being in on the show. I think we all can. I mean, there are elements there to like. Do you guys think that, there's stuff to like about Mandalorian, right?
Absolutely.
It's very simple, The Mandalorian. It's very simple. And let's face it, the Star Wars story and the first Star Wars, obviously the first one, New Hope, which they call it New Hope. When I saw it, it was called Star Wars, but there you go. That story is very simple. Empire Strikes Back is very simple. The Return of the Jedi is very simple. And Mandalorian's episodes, they're very simple as well. So it's kind of like on the right track. Do you know what I mean? So
well,
they're not
and
perfect. They're not
but
perfect. So.
but see, this is another thing. I agree with Thomas on this one. If they fire Carano, they're going to lose 50% or more of their audience. Again, this is their pattern. They're halving their audience as they go. If you've noticed, the slogan that people came up with, and I think I want Wes to talk about, is if you go this particular direction, you go broke, right?
Yep.
Wes, do you have thoughts on that at all?
Shall be broken.
I do. I mean, the what they're doing to Gina Carano is just disgusting, because she is the type of woman that they claim is exactly who their audience, the audiences they're chasing. You have an example of a woman that's capable, intelligent, and beautiful, and
funny,
and they just because she isn't part of this woke orthodoxy. I mean, look what's happening to her. Look what they're calling her.
They're attacking her because she's a threat, and also Filoni and Favreau is a threat to the tone of what those people want Star Wars to be. There is a big war in that camp, definitely, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kathleen Kennedy walks down the corridor and people are sniggering behind her back because Luke Skywalker appeared in The Mandalorian. I wouldn't be surprised. There is a war. But as I said,
I think Favreau snickered at her front in the Midnight's Edge video when she was interrupting. He's like, "Yeah, what is this, like telephone or whatever he was saying?"
Yeah. And that's look. There's a divide. War is a strong word. I think Tom and I are very cautious of saying it that way now. I think other people should be as well. But yes, there is a strong divide there. But let me ask a question, because this is your wheelhouse, Ian. This is another reason I'm glad you're here. Doctor Who. Right now, everybody's in the same ballpark, in the same camp, as far as how that treatment of that show goes, which is why it sucks so terribly. Yeah. You want to speak about that at all?
I mean, what can you say? But they destroyed the show. I mean, out of every franchise that is out there, Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who's the one that's been literally the worst. They've literally now changed everything about what we love about Doctor Who into this feminist, I'm sorry to say, feminist crap now. And the BBC's only getting worse with this diversity thing. You know what I mean? Hiring the wrong people, hiring people because of their color, hiring people because they're... I can just go on and on and on, but it's the BBC, it's the actual organization themselves that's making this whole problem worse. And
how are you feeling about not paying your compelled for license fee?
Well, you know what? As I said, my mum got bullied because I told my mum not to pay it, and so she got several letters, red letters, and my mum, she's in her 80s and she's really upset that she's getting these letters. And I told her not to worry because there's nothing they can do. Yeah. And you know what? I was on Dan's
Dan, yeah, I love that show.
I was on Dan's live stream. Yeah. And Simon, one of the panelists, read something out from the government saying that you have to pay the license if you watch YouTube, if you watch this, if you watch Amazon, if you watch this, that, the other. And it's a blatant lie. That's on the website. Yeah. It's an absolute lie. And people believe it.
Oh my!
So gosh. That's how crazy the BBC is now. You know,
we live in a life.
They defund them. If they defund them, it's done. They'll crash.
Well, that's the thing. You see, I just believe there's got to be some secret organization out there that's just literally giving all these woke people money.
It's not secret. Watch a comics division stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah. Anything Comics Division does on one of the two nights he's live, Monday and Thursday, which I have the great honor of joining from time to time, and Wes has been on there too.
Yep. On there Monday sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Vigilante. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't diminishing you, my friend. But yeah, but
it's only black panelists. It's all right. Yeah. I shouldn't make those jokes. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. No. I mean, they talk about it, and it's led by this dude. And he's bad news. And you have all these You have all these
wonder.
global elitists, they all get together in Davos. I'm intentionally not saying the name here, guys, on my channel, and I'm not doing politics. We're not going to do this, but the BBC with license fee, there's a still not dealing with, like the number of shows they have to cut and staff positions in. I mean, think you got your papers are full of it all the time, and I'm always reading your stuff from across the pond, and I can't believe that they haven't cut the staff by 30 or 40%. It just blows my mind. They can't support it.
No, they can't. But as I said, it's not about making money anymore. It's not about making great shows. It's not about selling great shows to other countries. It's all about the agenda.
Propaganda. It's about the indoctrination of the people that don't know better.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
And the worst thing is that they're making their kids shows and putting all this crap into it. So the next generation is going to be indoctrinated with all this rubbish, And that's the thing.
I'm joking when I say that. It's literally indoctrinating kids that don't know better.
Yeah, well, absolutely. You have to in order to change the color, you have to poison the mind. So,
we really need to target the parents, honestly. And I'm just pointing that out because honestly, there is hope. Because like my sister, she was a kind of a new Who fan. I got her into it back when Matt Smith was in his season, and my niece grew up with Matt Smith. Like she watched him from like way too young. And so like she loved all of this new stuff. And then they brought out this new Who doctor, and my sister just did not give a crap. And my niece did not give a crap. So there is hope because my niece is only 10. So like her generation is the one that it's aiming at. And if those parents are the fans and they care about it, it won't go anywhere. Like we really have to lean on those parents to be the responsible fans and to say no.
Look at it this way. What they've done to Doctor Who, let's just take Superman, right? What they've done, like if it's Superman, they basically changed Superman's gender. They went back in time to make sure that he was put into the shuttle by a woman, right? And they changed everything so that all the leaders on Krypton were women. So that's what I did to Doctor Who. They basically changed the Doctor to female, went back in time to change the history of the Doctor.
Oh no! But even more, she wasn't even a Kryptonian then. Remember?
No. Yeah.
So
they got the power of the Kryptonians from this female Superman.
That Doctor Who is petty asshole. That's all.
It's.
What are you guys talking about? When did this all happen?
See, I had a great idea. We were talking about it on one of my streams the other day on how would you fix Doctor Who, and here was my solution: you get somebody like Mads Mikkelsen, right, and have him like wake up in some dumpy motel room and have like in the background, somebody found him in an alley. He just regenerated. This is how he meets his first companion, and and on the TV. There's like Jodie Whittaker making one of her little funny faces, and he wakes up and he goes, "Turn that off." and it's all about the search for the TARDIS. He'll be looking for the TARDIS, and eventually he'll find the TARDIS in like some skanky club somewhere some bar that they're using the inside of the TARDIS as a bar.
See, now that would be perfect. I think that. I think that's brilliant, but that they would never make something that creative, Wes. So stop giving us hope.
In my head, that's how it happens.
They eventually, why it's called Doctor Who, right? It's called Doctor Who because you don't know his history. It's a mystery to who he is. Yeah. And they literally destroyed that too. They went back.
And now now we have infinite regenerations because we just kept killing. I'm not going to do this. Okay, I need to acknowledge some of these.
One last thing on the Doctor Who. Robert says, "Fix Doctor Who. Step 1: hire Gary."
Or somebody with his
or the drinker.
Yeah, a drinker, Gary. There's a panel of people I would put together to do this. Dan would be included in that. I mean, I would put because you need lots of voices to give input there. But absolutely, so good idea on you. Mando, appreciate that, my friend. Mr. Tickle,
Robert in the chat idea.
Thank you, Robert. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you, Robert. Mr. Tickletron for a Canadian $2 sends a super sticker. It's a Shiba Inu Fart and Hearts, which is one of my favorite super stickers. Aww. I thank you. I know it's traditional. It's a traditional thing for him, which I do appreciate. Mr. Tickle Trunk is a huge supporter of everybody, and I can't believe I missed that super sticker. But if you guys know how this thing works on StreamYard, it skips all over the dang place, and I lose stuff. So let's see. We have more. Give me 2 seconds. I'm doing my Gary right now because the chat jumped. We're almost there. There's more. Oh, there's more. Okay. Oh, there we go. And then Mr. Tickle Trunk again. CC, I would never touch you. No. I have no illusions. I would never have to hold my doll and point where I got touched. So we're good there. Yeah.
The boss wouldn't allow it.
That's right. That's true. And Kate officially said hi to everybody, by the way. So
Hello, Kate.
Yeah. This is Disney is doing some good things. Absolutely. And I have faith in the show WandaVision. Now, we're not going to spoil it again for everybody, but I think if you can catch up, guys, you should, because I really do want to talk about it with everybody here and everybody out there. You guys are,
I'm caught up. I like it.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, and
I liked it.
Yeah,
So
I get where people don't though. At the same time,
yeah, so do I.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know a lot about the source material, so I was enjoying it at face value for what it was.
Yeah, me as well.
And I was enjoying it. I enjoyed, the different takes on each of the episodes, and we're talking about it. Me and Bear were talking about it last night. Bear, Nerd Fun.
Oh, the Four Horsemen, yeah,
yeah. And the takeaway was that this is what nostalgia is done right. This is what good storytelling is done right. You layer things in. You have different layers. You have subtlety. You have Easter eggs. And more important, and also you're paying homage to that style and genre of television for the time that it was out, the different episodes that they do, like the Dick Van Dyke one. The first episode was really good with all the cheesiness, and also what makes me really enjoy it is that the actors appear to be having a really good time with the material, and it shows.
Yeah.
You can tell they're having fun.
A huge part of it.
Yeah.
Also, if you go back to the Dick Van Dyke show, the original one, I doubt if you see a black face in it. And in this show, you have a lot of black faces.
Actually, the Dick Van Dyke show, they did an episode specifically about blackface.
Oh, okay.
Black people. They did, yeah. That was part of their cheesy comedy. Something happened, and they were dyeing something, and their hands turned black, and they were inviting this black couple over, and hilarity ensued.
Yeah,
cancel.
Yeah, no, actually, it was a really good way to handle a problem, and again, we're absent that any longer. There's no such thing as nuance and subtlety and real problem solving. We don't have people who are thoughtful when they go about trying to resolve issues or conflicts. That seems to be what's lacking. Everybody is operating like they're in junior high still, and that's our entertainment. Our entertainment is junior high level, which is why it's talking about feelings in hallways, talking about feelings around tables, and it's all it's all about these are the changes. This is what I am. You accept me, love me.
Indoctrination for adults.
Yeah, and it's crap. It's
if you look at the difference, it's kind of funny because there's always been kind of that level of aiming at young adults where the difference between say Smallville back when that was on versus Supergirl, right, that's on now, right, the IQ level of writing and what they think they need to focus on for the characters and the progression of the seasons, it really shows a lack of intellect, it was siphoned off, I think. And it's kind of that's a representation of that writing in everything in every genre is just if you go back 10, 15 years, that was really prime writing. And now it's kind of basically fast food variety. What's the quickest, grossest, greasiest way to get every protein we want to cram in your face? And it doesn't have to taste good. We just have to trick you into thinking it's quality entertainment,
To continue on your metaphor there, it's almost like having some kind of protein drink that's it has everything you need in it that instead of something that actually tastes good and you enjoy, even though it doesn't have everything you need in it, but it has everything you want and you enjoy it. It's
I think it's even worse than that. You have a bunch of illiterates that accidentally think that it says 1 tablespoon of baking powder and they read it as 1 cup of baking powder. And just that's what they're doing rather than, the baking powder just being a small part of the recipe. that's what you get, and you get this nasty, crunchy, frickin' disgusting.
Yeah, but you have to like it. You have to eat that, Wes.
I think it's
I need
okay with the baking powder, but that's not for
But if I screwed up the recipe, it's because everyone else is is an istinphobe. It's their fault.
Well, really, it's the perfect metaphor of a restaurant that changes its entire menu and gets angry at the customers when they complain.
That's right.
Well,
It's a slow cascade until everything's different, and then they're like, "Why are you complaining?"
Yeah. Well, what happened to Supergirl? First of all, she started off looking like Supergirl. Then suddenly she's in a onesie and got a fringe or something, and doesn't look at, she looked sexy before, but now she's not. She's not allowed to be sexy. What the frig is going on, with these shows? I really don't understand what's going on.
Yeah,
I mean, Arrow was brilliant. The first 2 seasons of Arrow, 3 seasons were absolutely brilliant. Then suddenly it turns into this woke.
Turned into a Berlanti joint, man, because that dude is all about telling you about his pronouns and everything that the way he lives his life. So that's the people that he surrounded himself with, and every single one of these showrunners, they all have the same lockstep agenda. If you're not terrified by the fact that there are no differing ideas in entertainment right now, you should be, because it speaks to something that has happened multiple times throughout history. But I do want to address this directly. And when I found out this news, I guess yesterday, this is heartbreaking. JJ, you didn't have to send this as a super chat, my friend. I appreciate it, but he says, "What's up, my friend? In case you didn't know, we lost a fellow YouTuber, Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom, otherwise known as Admiral OF Doom. Had a major heart attack on Thursday, and we lost him."
Oh my god!
And I couldn't believe it yesterday. And Tommy kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday, on one of the Rogue Entertainment streams, and it started to filter out to more people, last evening through JJ and other people that hung out with him. I'd only had the opportunity to hang out with him once. I'd been in the chats a few times, but it's a loss. We're losing people, and unfortunately, he was claimed by a massive heart attack, so it's just not anything,
He was a really good guy.
Yeah,
I got to hang out with him more, but I'm glad I got to hang out with him.
Yeah, it's a real bummer, and like I said, I feel awful. But thank you again, JJ, for throwing this up there. And I think that if reach out to people who knew him, and just because there are people that are feeling this a little more than others, but everyone should be well aware that. I mean, we're talking about somebody who's an uplifting, funny person. It was great. Anyway,
I'm in shock.
Yeah.
It seems like just yesterday I was talking with him in the chat, or I was, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Last week I was really on a stream with him. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we should move on to at least some of the subjects we were going to talk about. There are some things that are out there. I mean, we're having lots of people drop in. Hey, Becky. And Ironcaster said something really smart that I can't get back up to. I don't think. Crud. And it was a good comment. Darn it. This thing is really irritating me at this point. I don't know why, but it does. We have another super sticker that came in from Jake D, and I pretty much guarantee you it's a Doom corner, because he likes to torture me with that. Yeah. So Jake D, thank you for the super sticker, my friend. Doom to doom. There you go. That's what it is. But yeah, and I do believe it's very high school oriented entertainment at this point, and I'm tired of the way entertainment is going these days. It should be offensive to everybody, and if it's not, I don't. Well, good for you. Okay,
well, but the normies don't know any better, do they? The normies, they don't know any better. So until it's pointed out to them directly, do you know what I mean? So anyway.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. This is actually something I want Ian to address too, because this is a property that should be near and dear to his heart. It's one that I grew up with as a young person, and I truly appreciated. It's, of course, the additional pushback of
Bond.
No Time to
Again.
Die.
The Bond film is in development hell.
But you know what, though? Seriously, I love Bond, but unfortunately, I don't like Daniel Craig. I think I've never warmed to him as Bond at all.
No, I'm not a fan. I'm a huge Bond fan. Sean Connery, my guy. and then after that would be Pierce Brosnan, and then from there would be Timothy Dalton, and then Roger Moore.
Yeah.
And I'd probably
fun about him.
George Lazenby somewhere in between there, but just he only had one film, which I feel was underrated.
He doesn't have any of the traits of James Bond at all. When he plays James Bond, he's just like a thug.
He's not James Bond to me. He's not.
Same here. Yeah, mate, same here. I remember when I first saw him, they introduced him on a boat and on the Thames.
Casino Royale. I remember that.
And before he made that film, and he looked okay because he had longer hair. And then when he was in the film, he cut his hair, and the Casino Royale was really good. I thought it was really good. I still thought he was just getting there as Bond. And then when he appeared in the rest of them, I thought, no, the guy's not Bond.
He never became Bond. I thought Casino Royale was like James Bond Begins, and then as it ended, I felt like, okay, now he's going to be James Bond from here on out. And that never happened. No, Skyfall was okay, but it never quite happened like I thought.
Yeah, and I'm going to say something that's going to irritate everybody. He was James Bourne.
Yes,
exactly.
He was. Oh God, was he? And he wasn't as good. He was a knockoff James Bourne. I'm not James Bourne.
Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne.
Yeah,
Jason
Bourne.
Yeah, James Bourne.
I don't understand why they and also I really hated the casting of Q, even though that guy's a really good actor. Q to me is an older guy that knows everything about everything. He's not a computer nerd. So he is Q.
Agreed.
So there's a video game from way back from 2005, 007 Agent Under Fire, where because the game was made post 1999, The World Is Not Enough, where that was the last movie Q was in, and he literally leaves in that movie because he died shortly after the film was finished.
Yeah.
And so what they did is they had R, who was the Q replacement type thing. I thought that was a good way to go about it. It's a very similar Q-esque character, but it's not Q because there's only one Q.
Right.
In every movie, Q is the only guy that's played by the same person.
Yep.
Moneypenny's changed, M is changed, Bond is obviously changed, but Q is always the same guy.
Yeah.
Bond should
there's only one Q.
Bond should come in, kill a lot of people, make love to a beautiful woman, and just and have gadgets. That's what James Bond's all about. But take away all that stuff, it's just an ordinary action film, which is what Daniel Craig was portraying for the last 4.
Here's the crazy thought that people just don't understand anymore. He was a gasp character, and some characters aren't ideal. And he happened to be a playboy, and he happened to like to shoot people and do casino games and like be an awesome agent and shit. There was no problem with that. And they don't understand that when you take a character and then you take apart that character and then you put everything else in there that wasn't that character, it's not the same character anymore.
It's not. I love the gadgets. What happened to the gadgets, man?
Well,
even though it was cheesy, it's still part of Bond.
It is, and that's the thing. You tear the heart out of a product like this when you tear out the consistency, and that's what's happened. I mean, if it's a trope and you tear it out, now what did you replace it with? Nothing.
Have you seen the adverts for the latest James Bond? Right, so basically it starts off where these bad guys are doing something shifty on the beach, and this bike turns up, and the leg comes off the bike, and the helmet comes off, and guess who it is? It's not Daniel Craig. It's the black woman that's in that film, and the whole advert plays that with her, without Daniel Craig not even appearing in the advert. Why would you call that a James Bond commercial when it hasn't even got Bond in it?
Well, you know why.
This is where we're going, lads.
Well, this is also why this they're trying to sell this thing for what they need to make, right? They have no buyers. They have no buyers for this.
Nobody wants this shit. Nobody wants this shit. They
won't let it go for what it costs at this point. It's costing them $1 million a month in interest to sit on it, and they're having to talk to their financiers constantly because this thing is it's not going to get released. They pushed it back yet again, and this is happening to a whole slate of films, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But I want to get to this real quick because Makini's getting ready to set up, if he hasn't left already, which he probably has. Thank you, Makini, for the $5 super chat saying going to be taking off. He's setting up a celebration stream. guys, please go over there and check that out immediately after this show. He deserves your support. Say congratulations on hitting a what we call a milestone number, because in this community, until you get to 1,000, it is a real big grind just to get 10 people. So he's in the hundreds now. He needs to get that opportunity to celebrate it. So if you get a chance, check that out, guys. He's amazing.
Congrats.
Yeah, and I think he should do Rebecca Gold. I think that actress is very attractive, and I think that you could do excellent service to her with her hoodie, that red hoodie.
Yeah,
and that's a brilliant series.
Right? Yeah,
and that's a brilliant series. And you did everything you do is really good. I hope you'll plug some of your stuff on the way out the door, because
I'll try.
I really think that you should. But all right, and please.
I had a take about James Bond, the whole James Bond thing, and a short plug too, because I actually made a video a while ago about the whole Shauna Lynch or why representation hurts representation. So plug, please watch my channel, watch the video. But this James Bond thing is one of the most perplexing out of all of the franchises, because no franchise has taught its fans like you can change the actor of James Bond infinitely. You can modernize James Bond infinitely. You can you have so much free reign so long as you keep these same traditions with it. You know what I mean? So it's like
it's the one franchise where being formulaic works for it.
Exactly. So what is so hard? You can just go with the template. And hell, you're so late to the party on James Bond having a woman or even a black woman as somebody who may be on his level, because Halle Berry did it and Grace Jones
right? That was the Halle Berry. That was last.
Well, and hey, go back
to Bond film.
Yeah. There have been several black actresses that have played.
Had a female co-lead with the CIA chick.
Yeah. And the 7-Up guy, crap, what is his name? Great voice. Anyway, he was in a Bond film as well.
Live and Let Die. Was the black villain. That fucking movie is great. You can't have a black villain anymore.
Live and Let Die.
I love the theme song.
It's weird, but it's underratedly good.
His name.
It's good.
Say again. I'm sorry.
It's definitely my
the black guy.
That and For Your Eyes Only is probably my two favorite. Roger.
I love The Eyes Only. Love The Eyes
Only. It's just, first of all, I love not only do I love the Greeks, but I love how the Greek guy is played by an Israeli. So that's just funny.
Do you know what? Here's some advice to Barbara Broccoli, right? Release the film. If she releases the film now, I'm telling you, there's going to be a huge crowd crowding towards cinema to see that film, because it's a Bond film. It's not, it's not a Christopher Nolan film. It's not these films that haven't been tried and tested. I'm telling you, there is an audience out there for Bond. They should just bite the bullet, release the film, and I bet you any money it's going to be a success. People are going to go in hordes to watch that film, because cinema has been taken away from people and they desperately want to go back to the cinema.
Ian, but here's the thing, Ian, after the first 2 days, nobody's going to go see the film.
What do you mean? After the first 2 days?
Bond.
Because word of mouth, and all of the agenda in it's going to kill it.
Yeah.
But it's not sexual anymore. Remember,
if they've done that, they've shot themselves in the foot, haven't they? If they've done that.
But I mean, just the stuff that I've been privy to, and the script leak and everything else. I'm telling you, it's going to be bad. And here's the thing, Ian, you know this. If you watch and a film their projections start to fall, and then they have a test screening and it continues the projections continue to fall, there's a reason why your projections are falling. I mean, and I'm just saying it's not going to be good. But I wanted to address this from Captain Robert April. Lucasfilm needs to get control of Twitter account away from well, here's the thing, Captain Robert April, they are trying, or actually solicited to hire a social media manager for Lucasfilm. And here's the thing. If they hired somebody for that position, I think I've talked about this before on a different stream, but if they hired someone for that position, they would share the same sensibilities as KK.
Yeah.
And that isn't going to serve them. They need somebody who has, I don't know, adult view of the world. And that's just, and understands that, you don't call people racist if you have no evidence of them being racist. So, yeah, I mean, you can call it
a hub adult view, but an actual adult view.
No, but the evidence is your color of your skin. Duh.
This is Twitter. I mean, Twitter doesn't represent the world, for God's sakes. Why are people listening to people on Twitter? It's only the minority. Not minority. Yeah, it's only a very little group of people that are causing all this trouble. Why is the world listening to Twitter? That really puzzles me.
I don't. That's the thing now. Twitter right now is a tool for me to advertise streams like this and to direct message with my people. You can get me on Twitter, guys. You can get me on email. I have my emails on the channel. If you go to the About tab, it's there. And if I remember to check my email, like Gary, I will actually get back to you at some point. And then and of course I'm over on Minds now. So if you want to get me faster, Minds might be a solution. I usually try to follow people back if I can, if I know what you're doing. I try to do that over there. And but this is, Daniel Craig. I mean, he's a little too old to play the character. But that happens, right? I mean, look at Sean Connery and
Roger Moore was like pushing 70 when he.
I know, but
Octopussy. So
yeah, I know, absolutely, yeah. But but Hologram Nunchuck says the right thing. It really you used to look forward to the Bond films because you got to see attractive women. You got a lot of action. Bond movies were action fests, amazingly so, and the locations were extraordinary. And
they were all filmed on location too.
Yeah. And Pinewood Studios was, a different, they utilized Pinewood a little differently back then. So let's just
only a couple of days ago, I was watching Thunderball. Right, this is really weird. I was watching Thunderball 2 days ago, and Thunderball is still a really good film. The women in there are sexy as hell. Sean Connery's amazing. Sorry?
The underwater action sequence,
with the shark and everything. Yeah, and obviously the story was a bit rubbish, but I mean, it's very simple and it's very, very Bond. And
here's the thing: like, you look, as simple as the story was, I wouldn't say it was rubbish, but I would say it was definitely it was a simple story where, like, okay, they have a nuke and they're threatening the world with it, and now we have to get it because it's a rogue nuclear power now. It's a very simple story. It's very basic, but that you're watching as the action because of the stakes that are like they're artificial, because again, it's a really bad story. But I mean, that's not what you're watching. You're watching because it's Bond. You're watching because and Domino, right? The actress, Domino. First of all, she kills the bad guy at the end of that film.
She does. Shoots him in the back. Yeah. I love that scene where he's on the roof and it's just one shot where he takes on all those. I think it's Japanese or Chinese henchmen, and it's just him versus all of them, and he's running on the roof, and it's just one big shot.
Oh my god! You Only Live Twice. That's my favorite scene of that movie, where you just see
it's a great movie.
The pan shot from the helicopter, where you just him running across a rooftop, and you see all these henchmen coming at him, and he's knocking them out, shooting them. It's like, and then they have in the background.
They don't do that in Bond films anymore. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that something that is so tested and tried and people love it, why would you change it? It's like trying to break something that isn't broken. Do you know what I mean?
But it's happening consistently. And, and L Punk Trace says he liked the first 2 films. I think the first film was fine, but he was still not really, for the most part, James Bond. I mean, there was elements in it for sure. The second film, Quantum of Solace, I think I had a problem with because it wasn't as interesting a story, and I'd already seen something similar to it because it stole some stuff from Sahara, and stuff like that. But again, I mean, it is what it is. But and I always tell people, like what you like, love what you love. I will tell you my thoughts on it, and that's it. I mean, my critique of Craig is that he never actually really became Bond, and that I can't get away from.
Well,
that.
This is the. Can I give you? I'm not a big Bond person. My Bond I was introduced to was GoldenEye, so it was Pierce Brosnan. But my impression was that I got from him, and I've seen like one with Sean Connery and one with that one dude who was in one of them. That's how much I know about these movies.
Mhm.
But I got the impression that, you know, it's like this is this character
Mhm.
and he exists in a bubble because it's like, you know, these are these like crime, like no, not crime, but you know, like there are these mission movies, and you're going out there and you're doing it for your country and all this kind of stuff. And there are certain things that you expect in them. It's kind of like in its own reality, kind of like Indiana Jones movies. You know, it's like there's a line of realism to it, but you have to like suspend your disbelief at points.
Right.
And the thing that never clicked with me with these new ones with Daniel Craig is that they were trying too hard. They wanted to make him, quote unquote, a real James Bond. And by doing that, he wasn't James Bond. He didn't become James Bond because James Bond isn't a real human being. He is an exaggerated, perfect entity. You know, he's like the perfect agent. He is the perfect man, a lover, fighter.
Women want to be with him.
Yeah, and you can't correct it in quotations the way that they see. They're like, if this was a normal human being, it would be wrong. We would have to correct them this way and that way. But they're not seeing that you can't do that with James Bond because he doesn't exist in that reality.
No, and that's the thing of being, you need to make this more realistic and gritty. Well, no, you don't, because that defeats the whole purpose. But
well, that's the reason why they did Indiana Jones, because Indiana Jones was because Spielberg wanted to direct a James Bond film and he wasn't allowed to. So Lucas and him, after he made Close Encounters and after he made Star Wars, they were on the beach in Hawaii, and George Lucas asked him, "What film would you, if you had any choice to direct another film, what film would it be?" And Spielberg said James Bond, and he said, "I've got something better." And they went out of their way to make him very different to Bond. Like Bond never really, in that moment in time, never really got hurt. So Indiana Jones got hurt all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, after chasing six cars or whatever, he looked immaculate. But Indiana Jones looked like he just came from they dragged him through a bush or something. And that's. And what AFK is saying is absolutely right. You know, he's
in the third one with Sean Connery in it. Was it The Last Crusade?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like you remember with the tank, and they think he's dead. And you look at him; he's like covered in dust. He's literally like he just wants to lie down and like collapse somewhere. Yeah. It's like, come on, then, dude, we have to go.
Yeah, come on, so great. So great. Well, this is one I want Vigilante Williamson to handle. This comment is for you, my friend. Yep, I'm doing it. I'm pulling the curtain back. I'm doing it on purpose. Go ahead, my man.
I was lost. I wasn't even paying attention to the comment. I saw it up. Sure, why not? I don't know.
So here, read it and deal with it, my friend, and we'll all answer.
I have an idea. Wow, maybe we can reboot the story of Shaka Zulu and say South Africa had a hero be white. See how that goes over. Let's just be honest. This race swap stuff just has to stop. That would be the better option. Just stop race swapping characters. We've all come up with the jokes of have like Donnie Yen play Black Panther or something like that. Like, just stop race swapping characters, because as AFK Bart just listed with other attributes that wasn't race, once you start messing with the character's essential character, for lack of a better word, start screwing up the character. You make James Bond realistic, he's not James Bond. Yeah. So the same thing goes for a race. You make Mary Jane black, well, she's not Mary Jane. She should MJ, but you're doing the same thing. You're not slick.
Yeah. They're not going to do two MJs. They're not. They're not going to introduce, here's Mary Jane, and then we have MJ already. So what? We have two MJs? Yeah, right.
I'll tell you what's interesting about Mary Jane is that the original actress that played in the Tobey Maguire version, she was blonde, so she had to dye her hair red. And then the one
blonde, and the chick that played Gwen Stacy was a redhead. I know.
It was a redhead. She had to dye her hair blonde.
That was Bryce Dallas Howard, wasn't it?
No. In the Andrew Garfield version, it was played by Emma Stone.
No, Wes is right too. In Spider-Man 3, as well, and she was a redhead, even though and she dyed her hair blonde for the film.
Yes.
So you had a blonde as Mary Jane and a redhead as Gwen Stacy, which is hilarious.
Yeah. I just want to I just want to put this out here because Jaffo put this in the thing, and this was one of the things I wanted to say. I'm glad he threw it into the chat. Grace Jones was amazing in A View to a Kill. Incredible. Sacrifice herself.
I hated that film.
Sacrifice.
So it wasn't my favorite of the Roger Moore's.
I can understand that because it is a bit over the top.
Sacrificed herself to beat her boss back. Amazing.
Yes.
Just an incredible way to go out. And Walken was very good in it. And yes, it was one of the most over the top films, but it had to be because they were dealing with an aged actor at that point.
I also think this was his last Bond, right? Roger Moore's last Bond. Beauty Would Kill. So
I thought it was great.
To Timothy Dalton, underrated.
Duran on the soundtrack too.
I love Timothy Dalton as Bond. I thought he was really good. It was really good.
Someday, Ian, you and I are going to go rounds. It's going to happen.
Fight.
My favorite Bond.
No. There are 4 billion reasons you're wrong, but that's okay. Okay.
Were they trying to get?
Not a fan of Dalton.
Were they trying to get Pierce Brosnan for that one, but he couldn't do it?
He couldn't do it. But you know,
Remington Steele, but they got him later.
The Living Daylights, I thought was a fine film. Personally,
Yeah,
obviously the dialogue was for Roger Moore.
Dalton was the most brutal Bond to date.
Oh yes,
there were things in there that were uncomfortably not Bond.
Bond has always been late on trends. Like that's with the Roger Moore films in the 70s and then 80s. They were going for the campiness of the 60s, or like the late 60s, early 70s, and with Dalton, they were going for that like brutality of the late 70s and early 80s that a lot of films had. So they were always late to trends, which is why when Washington Face took over, when Daniel Craig was Bond, they tried to go for like the Bourne trend and make everything look like Bourne, even though it's already been like a few years since Bourne. The trend was over.
Yeah. But I tell you what, though, what's interesting about Connery and Roger Moore, Connery and Roger Moore shaped Bond, right? And I tell you how they did that, right? Connery played Bond in a very specific way. Then when Roger took over, and then came what's his name? Lazenby. Lazenby copied Sean Connery. Okay. Right. Then Roger came along, and Roger was his own man, and so it was bad for Pierce Brosnan when he took over. He had to try and copy Sean and Roger.
And he actually did a really good job of merging the two.
Yeah, he did. He did. That's what he did.
I this is an unpopular opinion I will get canceled for. Lazenby is one of the top 3 Bonds.
I'm not going to argue that, actually. I like Lazenby.
Well, you know, when he was playing the Scottish guy in the film, his voice was dubbed in that scene because he basically couldn't perform very well. So they dubbed his voice.
He was a model. That was his first acting gig.
It was. Yeah.
And he was amazing, and he was the best physical actor of all of them. I mean, let's not fool ourselves. You know, he was one of the baddest Bonds. But hey, anyway, I want to get this comment from Mr. Tinkle Trunk.
Also, So Secret Service had the best theme. That's for damn sure.
It did. It did.
The best theme of all Bond films.
John Barry, man, he's amazing.
Mr. Tickle Trunk for $5 Canadian says, instead of Bond 2020, we should have had a new property about a cool black female spy with her own skills, theme, and story, not written woke. I'd buy that. Sure, if it was good. Again, this goes back to the same conversation that we've been having for multiple years now, and I think Wes and I could do it, by rote at this point. They're incapable of creating anything themselves. That's why they steal other people's thoughts. That's part one. Part two, they also
someone's thoughts. You might get shot.
They also pursue other people's intellectual property to tear it down, to try to rebuild it as their own.
You're right.
So there are two things you're working against with doing this. But yes, Mr. Tickle Trunk, if somebody writes a good story about a female spy that happens to be, whatever color, but they did it. But it's been done. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, they did it. It was a film with Blake Lively that the Bond people produced. Do you remember that one?
No.
Also,
it was a couple of years ago. Atomic
Blonde with Charlize Theron. I thought that was a great example of you can do a Bond-like film that's not Bond. There has nothing to do with that franchise. Just
Atomic Blonde. Atomic Blonde. You're talking about? Yeah. That was okay. I like that film. It was
Wasn't Nikita a Bond type movie?
Yeah.
What was that?
Nikita?
Yeah.
Technically, she was an assassin. Yeah.
I mean, this is almost more boring, but fucking Long Kiss Goodnight back in the 90s is kind of.
Oh, I like that
Yeah.
film.
That was a great movie.
That
How
was
come
a
you
great
didn't set me up with that question? I get Shaka Zulu. Something cool. Like, yeah, I would love to see a black female. Listen, if you want to write Hollywood, I know sometimes your algorithm may pick stuff up. This is a legitimate tip for Hollywood. If you want to write a whatever character, insert whatever into your woke algorithm, just do them well. You can make a trans woman of color the biggest action star on earth if done correctly. There are tropes in action movies that have been done forever. Study them and learn from them and understand what makes them right. And then insert what your character is without your agenda.
And write a story that write a story that makes sense, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that too. No Batwoman. We can't do that.
I mean, wasn't Jinx played by Halle Berry? She was going to do her own spin-off. They were going to do a spin-off, weren't they? But they didn't get round to it. But she would have made an amazing agent, sexy.
I think that spin-off would have been successful at that time. I wonder if Catwoman killed it.
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. But and was Catwoman her fault?
It wasn't her fault.
Oh,
the script.
It wasn't her fault. I don't know what she was supposed to do.
Oh, that director I heard was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, guys, we just got to have faith that all of this will go away one day.
Hey, here we go. 007 existed in real life. John Dee spied for Queen Elizabeth first. He used to send intelligence in cryptic letters signed 007.
Ooh.
Noise.
Yeah, the 007 was supposed to be kind of a style. I guess it was used as a typewriter before. He would put it's your eyes, and it would be like a spyglass, and the handle would be on the right of the two spectacles. And so, as a typewriter, the 00 and the 7 was supposed to be a way to. Well, I guess it'd be kind of like how, with the internet, people used to punch in things in the chat, and it would look like
Almost
aliens
like
or whatever.
emoji.
Yeah, it'd be an early version of that.
Using iconography of a sort. Glinzer for $5 says we used to turn to Hollywood for escapism. Now we avoid Hollywood for escapism. My goodness, Glinzer, that's well said.
Heck
Yep.
yeah.
I'm going to use that. Do you mind if I use that?
Glinzer put it out there for the world to see for $5. So
I can't even remember the last good thing I saw. Actually, Mandalorian. I guess that was about it.
Well, I don't know. I'm enjoying Wanda Vision, but we'll have that conversation next week. So. Parrothead said something brilliant. As a kid, I enjoyed the gadgets and the locations. So did I. Plus, the intros were amazing because scantily clad women in shadows were very titillating.
Yeah, they were. I mean, Shana Easton singing "For Your Eyes Only."
For your eyes only.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Man, you guys in the chat are on fire today. I wish I could keep up with everybody.
Unfortunately, now they can't make an actual, good James Bond.
Wow, you guys are super chatting like crazy too, guys. I'll try to catch up. I apologize.
Sexy dude who can use more than just a gun to get things done.
Let's see. All right, here we are. Another one from Glinzer for another $5. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate this very much. Race swapping is pretending to care about certain people, but refusing to give them the time and effort of creating original characters. What do you think about that?
Agreed.
That's
Especially when
surface level.
Yep.
It's surface level. It's also bigoted because it's like, hey, look, you're saying that race. Oh, we're not being racist because race could just be interchangeable. It doesn't matter. But at the same time, you're doing a disservice to the person that you're swapping the race of.
And
therefore really being a hypocrite in what you're doing and saying, but okay, it's like, hey, race is interchangeable, doesn't matter what color your skin is, except we don't like your skin color, so we're going to change it to something else for our purposes.
Yeah, here's what they're saying.
Vigilante Williamson was trying to say something, so hang on a second.
Yeah, because another thing you're doing, you're diminishing the properties that anything from that race has already created. Like it's said in the chat, and like we all know, there's been black properties and all sorts of properties of different races that existed before 2016, and they forget about that and they get diminished. I remember the whole big deal about Black Panther. It's the first black superhero, and I'm like, Blade came out in 1998.
Yeah,
and Steel came up before that. Remember Steel?
Steel, I do remember.
I was trying to forget that one, mate.
But Blade, was not just impactful as a black superhero movie. It was impactful as a superhero movie at all, because if you remember, the genre was on the downturn, and that movie was like a serious superhero movie for the time.
Loved it. And I loved it.
It also brought back vampires at the time, I believe, too.
It did.
Yeah. Well, but guys, you can go back even farther than that, for both television and film with Shaft, right?
Shaft is 50 years old this year.
Yeah. Yep.
50.
Anybody remember a show called Tenafly?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Go back all the way to
Dynamite.
There was Blackula. Blackula was about a black vampire.
Yeah.
All those blaxploitation movies of the 70s. I mean, say
They
what
were
you
awesome.
will about them, but they're awesome. They have a cult like following. And then there's Black Dynamite, which is I don't know if you've seen it. Everyone who loves that sort of
Blaxploitation.
Jackson. You remember that one?
Movie.
Action Jackson.
Yeah, man.
And actually, if you search Vigilante Williamson,
that was
you
in
get
the
another
70s, wasn't it? Black
blaxploitation
Dynamite?
movie called
Do you
Vigilante.
really?
Dynamite.
Yeah,
I
there's
love
a film
that.
called Vigilante by
Luke Cage, Power Man.
I love it. See, this is so great, guys. I love this conversation. The way we're going about it, I don't like it when I see it some places when it's and sorry, Wes, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were chiming in as well.
Oh yeah, what was I going to say? I was going to say just to add to the point of race swapping. It's like, so they're trying to say they love POCs, you know that term, and so they're saying we love you so much that we're going to go ahead and race swap this character. But what we're saying is we hate racism, but what we're saying is the most important thing about you is that you're black. Okay. That's the most important thing. We don't like racism. That's like the most important thing about this whole property is that you're black. All right. Not racist. Got it. Just dumb.
Yeah, I've heard it said before. They only do this so they can be, what do you call that? Proof of being, what do you call it?
Virtue signaling.
Well, it's not just virtue signaling. It's protection. It's protecting them from criticism.
Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely.
Use them as human shield. Yes.
Yeah, it's all these shields they put on. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing as
storytelling. It's about you being a racist. You don't like black women. It's like it's because you turned a good black into a drug dealing who lives by the river.
Oh God, dude, that woman just makes me want to vomit. But see that's not that's so many times we've seen the same thing. I'm so tired of them. That is the most racist way to treat a character in the world.
That's what I said.
Don't watch it then. That's what I say.
It's a god awful draw that they have where they're like, well, we have to have these characters and show, and represent that they have all of these hardships. And we have to do it in every single instance of every single show of every single character because we have to address that every single person of this color has always had this same problem. And it's so racist that they're like, okay, well, first they're going to be poor. They're also going to have this issue where they had to have gone to prison. And then they'll have this issue where they're homeless and they live in a van. And it's like, well, wait, why is all of that even necessary for this character? And then to have her saying lines like where she's just listing the statistics of her town when she was born. And I'm just like, who wrote this?
And not only that, who has that front of mind? Right. I mean, there's this tiny little sliver of humanity that gives two craps about that thought process. And here's the thing. Not everybody has the same experience in life. So stop portraying the same experience of life for freaking everybody. I mean, I didn't. A lot of people grew up in lives of privilege. Do you know what? I guarantee you none of us did. Right. I mean, you want to point out that there's the race favoritism in the world. Show me. There are some people who, are born into privilege, but it doesn't matter what their color is, their gender is, any of that stuff. I mean, look at the freaking Hiltons, right? They pumped out a bunch of kids and they ended up with Paris Hilton. I mean, come on.
Do you know what's interesting about this whole thing is that when I was growing up, because I still live in a council estate in London, and when I was growing up, my estate, the Winstanley estate, was rough as hell. People used to get stabbed. There was a point where people used to get shot and stuff like that. And now it's all calmed down. And then when you go and you walk around the estate, you'll see people of mixed race. You'll see black people, and everybody's talking to each other, white people, and there's not a problem. Hollywood thinks that doesn't exist. And let me tell you something, it exists. It really does exist. We are happy with one another. But to bring this stuff into Hollywood and the entertainment, you're just creating, again, more racism. That's what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? It just, the whole thing doesn't make any sense to me why you would want to do that if you're against racism. That's what they're doing. So I don't know. It's puzzling.
Yeah, and in Mr. Tickle Trunk, I agree with you with that film. Atomic Blonde, there was a lot of very accommodating stunt men in that
She was
film.
good though.
Oh no, absolutely not. Don't misunderstand. I was just saying, I was using one of the great Critical Drinker quotes there because I admire him very much. Curtis YZ for $5 says, you all heed my words! Exclamation point. All right. Realism is the future. Realistic Bond is my hero. In my opinion, much love, LOL. Also play Insurgency. Never play COD. Why? Realism. Yeah, except that look at what's popular. And I know you were kidding, Curtis, but it's just we're in a weird place where sometimes realism isn't what you're looking for. You don't look for escapism and realism all the time. In fact, it's very rare. You want everything to mimic your world. You want to get the F out.
The whole point is called escapism for a reason, folks.
Yeah.
Have you noticed in adverts as well, when you watch trailers, every woman who's married in a trailer in a movie is married to a black person, and then the other way around as well. It's like every leading man is married to a white person. So it's just the whole thing is just getting ridiculous.
It's so much garbage. You know what? Again, it comes down to this: in entertainment and in everything else, love what you love, like what you like. And don't give two craps about what other people think. If you want to have a discussion about it, which is what we do as a fan community. As part of a fan community since, I don't know, I was 7, because I was arguing with my friends, about Star Wars, right? About
you're wrong now.
Darth Vader. So Darth Vader is awesome. No, Luke's awesome. You were having these discussions and you're a kid. Yeah. That's fandom. You know what? So like what you like, what love you love. Same thing goes with every other aspect of your life, guys. If you like somebody that is vastly different than you, fantastic. If you fall in love with them and you get married to them, good for you. We all enjoy different things, but we should all be allowed to enjoy them. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
kind of.
No one should enjoy anything ever.
Yeah,
no fun allowed.
Thank you, BW. But according to Latino Slant, I am racist because I only ask him about tacos. Absolutely not. Absolutely.
What about burritos?
We need to have an episode where we do nothing but talk about tacos.
We need to talk about food. Dude, do you realize we could do a whole Sunday food thing? I could go through a bunch of recipes that I like to make, all kinds of stuff. I could teach you guys how to make the world's best steak. I mean, there's a lot.
I've got some in the fridge right now, ready to go.
Yeah, God, I love all you guys. Look at this chat, dude. You guys are on fire.
Seriously,
Wow.
I'm jealous.
And I can't even keep up. Keep up. It's insane. The Atlantean for $5. Dude, thank you. I was told to just not say stop sending money, but thank you, my friend.
We're
Ed
pro-capitalism.
well.
Here's another one. I reject your reality and substitute it with my own.
Well, there you go. Exactly. But absolutely for $5, Ed Boon says reality is boring. Nobody pays for reality. Oh, absolutely.
Exactly.
Does anybody want to do you want to watch a movie called The Accountant where a guy goes to and from work all day and adds and then goes home? And that's it. And then he sleeps and then you watch 40 years of his life and he dies. Was that in film for you?
You know what? It could be done well. You have to add other elements, but I get what you're saying.
I'm not a movie person, but there is a movie that was released way back in the day. It's black and white, so it's super old, right? And I don't remember the name, but Ian, maybe you knew, or somebody else. But the whole premise was that it took place during the Depression or something, and it was this writer or director of movies who kept coming up with duds, and he was trying to write a really good movie that everybody wanted to watch, and he was super obsessed with realistic, real world now problems, and he was focusing on all of that. And the whole progression of the movie, he learns that what the people want to see in theaters is something that'll make them laugh and happy, and to escape that. And that's I keep thinking of that now, and I don't know the name of the movie, but it felt like such a great moral.
Yeah. I don't know that one. I really don't know that one.
There was a film, Stranger Than Fiction, that I enjoyed that could have been terribly boring, but was brilliantly done. And Dustin Hoffman's in it. A lot of great, talented actors. And the first performance I ever enjoyed by Will Ferrell was that film.
Yeah, it's
and
one of the best acting jobs.
Yeah, he legitimately, outside of whatever it was, Talladega Nights or whatever.
Talladega Nights.
Talladega
Yeah.
Nights,
Yeah, Talladega Nights, I
Not
enjoyed. It was
first or last.
yeah. If you're not first, you're last. Yeah, but his dad comes back. He's like, but you could be like third or next. It was really funny, but but honestly, if you want to talk about making the mundane interesting, that was a good way to go about it. But there are films like that for sure. AFK Bart. I just my point was
like putting a cougar in the back seat of your car.
Hey,
that'll wake up your that'll start your day with something.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, wait. Executive producer Sol Leibowitz. Good to see you, my friend. I was hoping you'd be lurking about. The film is called Sullivan's Travels. It was written by Preston Sturgis and starred Jehovah Cray. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. I'll have to look that up.
So that was the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, so he says. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I had a friend who is into like black and white stuff, and like I don't know, she was a hipster before hipster was a thing, and so like she always like makes me watch stuff when I would visit her, and that was on like the list, and they all kind of blur together because they're all black and white and kind of boring in my opinion. But that was a very poignant one because it actually stuck with me. So
Qui-Gon gives us a suggestion for Bond. Bond is a stalking horse. Have him be all toxic male to draw attention, then have a woman do stealth stuff behind the scenes. Then we could have the strong female and a Bond that we like.
Yeah.
Well, if you're saying in the new film, that's what it's being portrayed as.
You could do that where it's like
I think that's what he's insinuating that the new film is going to be structured as. Who knows? But it's still going to suck. So.
Yeah. Definitely.
There's actually a way they can do that to make it interesting. Where do you remember in You Only Live Twice, where he goes as Mr. Fisher to the that importing exporting company? You know, like just in broad daylight, goes there as himself. You know, as himself, quote unquote. To go to the meeting. So they could do something like that, and then you can have like the chick agent sneak in, be all stealthy, spy stuff, while James Bond is doing the more the
Bondy things,
where it's like it's like hey, I'm here. We had this meeting, trying to get intel that way, versus she's trying to get intel the more clandestine way. So
yeah,
like that would be a good way to go about it, but they're not going to do that.
Do you hear that they're making another Die Hard movie with Bruce Willis?
No.
There's only 3.
I don't understand what they're going to do with the next one. I mean, he does look really. I've seen him in a film recently, and he does look really. Well, I wouldn't say really old, but he does look his age. Put it that way. So I don't know what they're going to do.
He
hasn't looked like he's cared in such a long time.
Yeah,
he really hasn't.
And I'm going to say something controversial, but this is because I saw it in film class. I really enjoyed Citizen Kane. So, and it's something I enjoyed from the very beginning. But I'm one of the few that people will sit. They don't actually even show that in modern cinema film school anymore. So
I've never watched it.
I've seen it once, and I never really liked it. I thought it was okay. But,
didn't like it.
Put me in the okay camp. What I really appreciate about Citizen Kane is kind of the technical aspects of it. Because it really did break a lot of ground that way.
Pushing through windows. Say what you will. There are shots that only he was able to get.
Yeah.
Right. Because he created the ability to get them and the way they could happen. You have look at the birds, look at all this stuff. I mean, any of those films, they were only certain ways to make all of that happen. Right. But at the same time, you juxtapose that with the silent film era that preceded it. And Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin, those films are brilliant. If you have not, as a entertainment person, if somebody who loves to be entertained, if you have not seen all those silent films, you should. They're brilliantly.
They are. Yeah. So is Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah, Laurel and Hardy. Absolutely. Oh no,
fantastic.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, my dad loves those guys. It's an art form that just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's one scene in it where they're cleaning the chimney, and Laurel's sitting underneath the chimney, and the bricks fall on his head. You'll never get away with that today. No. Never. I mean, Tom and Jerry used to love Tom and Jerry with the violence and the cartoon violence in Tom and Jerry. You can't have that anymore. This is the world we live in now. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Buster Keaton was like that too, like all that slapstick dining room shenanigans, throwing pies in faces of ladies, and good times.
Yeah, that was also in Blazing Saddles with the scene. Was it towards the end when they start breaking the fourth wall? And it's like, and here's where all the stars eat their lunch, and they have the pie fight. Get your pies here. Great pie fight.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Mr. Triggertrunk, say what you will about black and white film, but Charlie Chaplin's entire catalog is great. No, absolutely. In fact, not only that, I think Robert Downey Jr.'s career could be defined by that film performance that he did recreating Charlie Chaplin's life.
Very, very good.
I could not have imagined anyone doing a better job in every aspect of how that was portrayed. It was so well done. If you haven't seen that film, Chaplin, with
I've heard
Robert
it was really good.
I
have an announcement to make.
No, sorry.
I have to thank Polly for bringing this to our attention, but it looks like YouTube has wiped 3 subs off, so I can have a 500 sub celebration again.
Yay!
Yes.
Guys, go check, because we're going to wind down now because we need to go over and support Makini for his celebration. Yeah. But please double check that you're still subscribed to my friend Wes Moody, the Web Missy.
Everybody get him to 500 subs now. Like, please, right now.
Yeah, and everybody else that's here, please subscribe to them as well, especially all of Ian's creations and all the 75 channels that Mando Merc has. So you guys, today's been an amazing day. I really appreciate all the participation in the chat. You guys make us go. I had other subjects prepared to talk about today, but we got stuck on one like we always do. I thank each and every one of you, and I really appreciate the fact that Ian was able to make it here today. Thank you, my friend. I love hanging out with you. I miss you, man. So let's go ahead and do everybody's wind out. We're going to start with the man of multiple channels and massive ability to create varying types of media, our friend Mando Merc, also known as Cast in the Shadow. Please take it away, my friend.
All right, everyone. I'm Mando Merc, the creator and owner of Cast in the Shadows, a weekly podcast here on YouTube where we discuss all things escapism. I'm also an artist for hire, so if you need a logo or really any type of art commission done, call me up. My email is, you can email me through the channel, with the view email address, all that. And obviously Discord is the best way too, which link in the Discord server link is in the description of every video I do. And I do gaming streams. I do obviously my podcast. I do news videos. I do some on occasion reactionary content, although I haven't done any in like a year. But yeah, I got a lot of projects going on. I also sell some artwork I make myself just for the fun of it on eBay. I got as Culture has dubbed me, the busiest man in the Fandom Menace.
You are pretty busy, my friend. You really are. Well, thank you for being here, my friend. I love it. Please check out the stuff that he does, his games. If you ever get back to Star Citizen, make sure you let me know. I will. I'll have to swing back in so I can get familiar with what I need to relearn since I took such a long break from it. But anyway, thanks a lot.
We're all gonna have to relearn something because they're again. So.
All right, well, take it easy, my friend. Now we have the Mirrorsphere Origins. Hey, this is our latecomer. What's up, my friend?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thank you always supporting us all. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I am Daniel, the host of the Mirrorsphere Origins. I'm on YouTube most of the time, and I'm also on Minds now and Discord. And later on, Culture, I'm going to put in that Discord chat. I'm going to put my friend thing from Nintendo. Black guys.
Oh, cool.
I could join you guys next time when you're Mario Kart stuff. But I review TV shows, books, movies. Sometimes I do live streams in the morning whenever I can, and I like to have fun with you all, hang out. So yeah, please hit me up.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I have to catch this super chat before we close out and just say Curtis for $2 says realistic is the ultimate way to escape reality. I don't know. I'm gonna experiment a little bit with these hyper realistic things you're talking about. I'm just concerned that's not a great escape. But Curtis, I will definitely try it out because I'm one of those people that I'll try out anything as long as it's not terribly illegal. So anyway, and now of course Vigilante Williamson.
Vigilante Williamson here. So I'm looking at Wes Moody's channel. He's at 499 subs. It makes no sense. Please, for my own OCD, sub to him so he can get back over 500. I wanted to say that both him and Paulie are over 500, and I'm like, that's really cool to see you guys grow, and even my channel's been growing. Vigilante Williamson here. I talk about pop culture and culture war stuff. And speaking of the culture war, please join me on Minds, or if not me, if you hate me, join Culture Casino or Wes or somebody on Minds. We need more people on these alternative platforms. I get that a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, the same thing that happened to Parler is going to happen to that." But like, unless you want Facebook and Google and whatever else to just run your life, we have to get on these alternative platforms. And for God's sake, not talk about politics, talk about other crap so we can live and be outside of this system. But yeah, please also sub to my channel. There are, because I got too many damn screens open, there are 37 people watching this. If all 37 of you subbed, I would be over 200 and it would be on my 200 special. So please, if you haven't subbed, please sub to my channel. Please sub to AFK Bard, Mirror Sphere Origins, everyone else on the panel, because I have Stream Brain, Wes Moody, obviously. And Cast and Shadows, I can't forget him. He's making my logo. So yeah, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, yeah, Ian. How did I forget Ian? That's what happens when you have Stream Brain. Sub to all of us like 100 times, seriously, so we can grow. And there's also creators in the chat, and just I appreciate the whole community. Thank you all. I can't believe I'm almost at 200 subs. And I also have a song, if you are into like 90s-ish style underground hip hop, you might like it. But I'll do it. But Synthwave is coming. Synthwave will be coming. So check me out.
Sounds amazing, my friend. Well, let's move on. We're gonna check out the man we just mentioned, Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast.
Hey everybody. Well, I have an announcement to make. I have just reached 500 subs for the second time.
Yeah.
So we will be having the 500 sub celebration part 2 at some point. To be announced. Thank you, my friends. Thank you, everyone on the panel and culture. Make sure that you're subbed to all these amazing people. We have the best panel on YouTube for the best chat on YouTube. I am Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast to talk about current events, pop culture, occasional conspiracy theories, occasional car talk, gaming streams, and I will vlog about whatever the heck I want to because it is my webcast. Hope to see you there, my friends. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wes. Appreciate you. And our lovely female panelist who doesn't give enough credit to herself for her fun stuff that she does on her channel, AFK Bard.
Oh, hey. Yeah, no, I'm not doing anything on there currently. I have read on stream and I do talk about stuff. I did talk about Stranger Things with Ian for the longest time. And then started talking about movies. But currently, I've got no plate spinning like at the moment because work is kind of all-encompassing my mind. So I like to pop up here, and I'm around. So there you go.
Well, you're very humble. I hope you get back to creating on a regular basis, but a creator that you all should get to know, somebody who's made many things, especially online, and our very special guest today. Thank you for showing up here, Ian. Please tell everybody about all of your awesomeness.
Ooh, awesomeness. I have a channel called Rebecca Gold, and basically it's named Rebecca Gold because of the web series that I made called Rebecca Gold. It's only 5 episodes, and I think the longest episode is 9 minutes. First episode's 5 minutes, so you can watch that. But also I have feature films on there as well that I was privy to direct 20 years ago. There's a film, the latest film is Fallen Angels, which it was a corny horror slasher movie that I directed in I think it was 2000, I'm not really sure. Then there's Killing Zone, which a lot of people have watched, which is quite good, 4.1k, which I did hardly any advertising for that, but I really appreciate people watching that film. And then I have a film called Bad Day, which is doing quite well on there. These are 3 feature films, and I have behind the scenes of Rebecca Gold stuff, how we did it, and you know, how we did the green screen stuff and all that. So yeah, come and visit the channel and knock yourselves out. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hello. I finished. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was talking and I had muted myself, so
Oh,
very
right.
good. Thank each and every one of you.
Touch the button, man.
Yeah, I push the button. Yeah, no, yeah, Old Man Casino, very good. Anyway, you guys are amazing. Thank you all for being here. And those of you in the chat that showed up, those of you showed up late, I appreciate. Guys, Orville Nation does a great thing on Monday, covers Dark Matter. I had the great privilege of being on that panel doing one of the episodes with the showrunner. It is a unique experience. They have a guest panelist on Monday. It's one of the actors. So you absolutely need to show up and check out that if you are a fan of that show, or if you're not, check it out. It's available out there. You can watch it. You can catch up with it. It's completed, unfortunately, but it's a great program. It's very well written. Once you get into the third episode, this is the true test of a show. If you can get through the first 3 episodes, you're either hooked or you're not. And with this show, you should be hooked. But anyway, thank you all for being here, guys. Check out, like I said, all these wonderful creators. I will end the stream like I always do, obviously, and then with, of course, we have new subscribers that have added, and another one that I need to add to the member credits that I do at the end of the stream. But I'm going to say the same thing I always say, which is be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because hygiene.
Yes,
and until next time, y'all. Bye.
And sub to Mayor's Fair.
Guys, go check out McKinney's stream, please, right after the credit.
I'm actually going to be on that in like maybe 20 minutes. I got to go finish.
Yeah, check out McKinney's stream. We're still live.
Yep.
Sub to Mayor.